Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kelly White.
Hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium, psychotherapist, and author Kelly White, and welcome to Ask Me Anything. Today is August 16th, 2026, and what a rough week it is. Is this a rough week? Are you all having a rough week? Because most people are. This energy is so intense. So I'm going to say hi to a few people, and then I'm going to talk about the astrology, and I'm going to talk about my week, because it has just been, it was hard. Been a hard week. This energy is just, I think, horrific. Mrs. Shai Pono, I'll come back to you with the card. Hi, Melissa. I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you if you guys are, if you're emotional right now, Melissa, this is a very emotionally charged, intense week. All right, more so than other weeks. What makes this week different? I will talk to you about that in astrology when I get there, because it's intense. Hi, Leslie. Okay. And Glow says, did anybody else feel a longing when watching the astronauts in space? And I'll come back for a card for you, Glow. That's a good question. I think a lot of people did, especially starseeds out there. They probably did. Yeah. I mean, you know, what a world. What a world. But that was an extraordinary event. Hi, Renee. Today's energy has been otherworldly. She said Kundalini-like experiences. Wow. Okay. And you're grateful for the topic tonight. I'm really looking forward to talking about this topic, because it kind of goes into the energy of change in what most of us are experiencing right now. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Jean. She says, I'm intrigued with this topic. I feel like this resonates with my life right now, letting go of people, attracting new people, and a feeling of excitement regarding what's next. That's perfect, Jean. That's the top end of this energy, to feel this way. It's like riding the wave. I think that's fantastic. Hi, Stacy. Hi, sweet cherry wine. Hope you are safe, Kelly, with that wild weather up there. Well, funny thing. We're going to talk about that. It was really horrific. My word for today is horrific. Okay. Hi, Toby. Yes. Thank you for always being there. You're so welcome. Oh, your birthday's today, Toby. Yes, I will come back and I will get you a card, Toby, but happy birthday, honey. Happy birthday. April 16th is a 5 of diamonds. Whoops. Sorry about that. Hold on a minute. I got so excited. It's a 5 of diamonds. 5 of diamonds is connected to the angelic realm. And this is, again, next to this new moon that is tomorrow. This should be quite a year for you, Toby. Okay, so Leslie says it's been a long week of being not well. Anyone else? Yes. Check. Is it the new moon? It's a lot of things, Leslie. KW says, Kelly, I watch you every week. Thank you. Even though I don't comment, I like the show with Dr. Shirley too. Thank you. Hey, Dee Dee from Chicago. Yeah, the weather was really horrific, and I'll get into that in a second. And I will come back and get a card for your twin boys that turn 8 tomorrow. Very exciting, especially on that new moon. Hi, Laura. She says, I loved the Tuesday show with Prajna. I really appreciate that. And, you know, Prajna was so vulnerable. So if you didn't see the show that Shirley and I do called Psychology and the Soul, on Tuesday, a couple of days ago, we had Prajna Avalon on, a wonderful healer. So really, if anybody wants a good healer, please go to her website and sign up. And she was on our show talking about her diagnosis a few years ago of autism and giving us a real vulnerable look into what it feels like and what her experience is like. And it was a very, very good show. I loved it. Hi, Cindy. You're excited, and yes, I will get you a card too. I will come back for all of this, but I want to talk about. We're going to talk about outgrowing your life for sure. But I want to first start with the astrology, and this is a very, very powerful time for a couple of reasons. Yes, we have this new moon, and I want to tell you a little bit about my week. And then the energies. So this energy it's like on fire energy. It's the energy of, feels like that we're about to make some big changes here. Interesting. And we're doing this topic of change. And what happened to me this week was a strange week. Saturday was a wonderful day. I was with family, and it was my sister-in-law's birthday, and it was a wonderful day Saturday. Sunday was also a very good day. I did something on Sunday. I went to have my second shingles vaccine. Now, you do you. Some people have the shingles vaccine, some people don't. Again, you do you. I had shingles in November for 2.5 months. And so for me, to get the vaccine was important. I just never want to go through shingles again. So the first time I had the first round, I was fine. And that was like, I don't know, 2 months ago or so, 3 months ago. And this time I had it on a Sunday. So in the event that I was going to get sick, I'd have a couple of days. And on Monday, I did get very sick from the second part of the vaccine. I kind of expected it. I didn't, but I did. And it wasn't a big surprise. But it really did knock me out. It just knocked me out. So by Tuesday, I was feeling better. I wasn't as wobbly. And I actually went to my trainer and I thought, well, I need to start feeling better because I'm going to be doing a show with Shirley tonight with Prajna. And it was Tuesday at about maybe noon or 1 o'clock or so. We found out that we had a tornado watch for us in the afternoon. Now, this is not my first rodeo with tornadoes, apparently. Since I've been here living in the Midwest, it seems that they always hit at showtime. I don't know what that is. It's like showtime. Oh, here comes the tornadoes. It never fails. It used to happen with James all the time. So I warned Shirley and I said, look, we have a tornado watch. It wasn't really a warning at that point. And in fact, then it became a warning. And then Wisconsin, I think it was the state, took all the kids, shut the schools down. So it became very, very intense quickly. So, but I was prepared. We were prepared. We'll take the dogs down. And I talked to Shirley and I said, look, in the event that we have a tornado, you'll have to do the show. And she understood. She got the assignment. So the tornado warning was intense and it was raining and raining. And I did the show anyway. And during the show, I was a little distracted because I could hear all the thunder and the lightning and all of the rain against the windows here. 'Cause our house is just full of windows. It's all windows, which is beautiful. During a tornado, it's a little much. So anyway, it all worked out. I finished the show, a little distracted because of it. And then it rained and we didn't see a tornado and we didn't hear anything after that. But it rained and rained and thundered and lightning. And it was, it was a little unnerving, but it was okay. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, yesterday, we had another situation. And I tell this because I want you guys to pay attention to see when this kind of feeling has happened to you about intuition. So Wednesday was a beautiful day. It was just fine. No problem. I worked well. Everything was great. I had good sessions. And after I stopped working, it was about 4 o'clock. I had this terrible feeling. I don't even know how to explain it, but I just had this awful feeling, like awful, intense feeling. So I sat down with Don and I said, I don't know. I just have this. I was overcome with a bad feeling. And he said, what is it? And I said, I don't know. I said, I feel like something bad is about to happen. And he said, well, what is it? Is it us? Is it the house? Is it you? Is it, is it my, holiday, my grandkids? And I said, I don't know. Because sometimes when you have that feeling of some doom and gloom, and I'm not a doom and gloom person whatsoever. But when I had this feeling, it was so overwhelming. It almost knocked me out. And I couldn't discern what it was. So then I went through which is what I always say to do. Is it my daughter? Is it my grandchildren? Is it us? Is it this? Is it the world? Because I have a lot of hits on that so often. But I said, it feels like it's the world. And then I said, it feels like the world around us. So I couldn't quite grasp what I was saying. And then 15 minutes from that, we ended up with a tornado warning. We ended up with a tornado warning. And so the tornado warning sent us immediately into the basement with our dogs. And so we went into the basement and we were there for about an hour, and it was really frightening. I was grateful that my intuition knew something was going on. I just didn't know what it was. But it was so overwhelming that I became dysregulated. So it was a traumatic event because we found out that there was a tornado 1.5 miles from our house and another one 2 miles away. And it was really dysregulating. And so I got really emotional. And I mean, it was a rough day, rough night. Anyway, we got through the tornadoes, we got through it. But after that, I was so dysregulated. And you know, Dr. Shirley and I talk a lot about dysregulation and getting regulated. And so Shirley called me and she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, Shirley, I'm really not. I was overwhelmed with grief and sadness and all of these things that came up." And she said, is it the fear of the tornado?" And I had really stopped myself, and I went internally and I said, I think I know I figured out what it was. It was, we had worked so hard on our house remodeling, of which we're still not done. The thought of a tornado wiping it out and taking everything was a lot. But ultimately, for me, it went back to losing everything when I had my head injury in 2000. And so even though I've done so much work on it, throughout life, you do work on things that come up for you. You do work on it. You become conscious of it. It's interesting that was still there, just that could be taken away. Now, I also understand that if everything was taken away, I would have the resiliency to come back for it. But in that present moment, I was so dysregulated. So watch becoming dysregulated. Watch during this week, these times ahead, if you get dysregulated. Okay, just watch it. Try to get grounded, talk to somebody, let the emotions out. That was important. I just started crying. Poor Don, it was like, he was overwhelmed too. It was overwhelming. I mean, Otis, our dog in the basement, was like going nuts. He wanted out of the basement. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. So, and tomorrow, after everybody who's part of my app for 5 o'clock somewhere, we have another tornado warning. They're already starting at about that time, about 6 p.m. So probably right after we have our meeting, and then kaboom, I have to run again. So these are some really, really radical times. And part of it is, well, a couple things that we have. So I do want to talk about this new moon. We have a new moon tomorrow on Friday. And this is a very interesting new moon. It's a karmic new moon. Now, why is it a karmic new moon? It is in Aries in Vedic astrology. Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, and it's in Ashwini Nakshatra, which is the first nakshatra in the zodiac, in the celestial houses. That, it makes it karmic. It's also really close from Pisces into Aries, which makes it Gandanta, which makes it like a knot. So very intense. And the karmic pattern of this new moon is about releasing old energy. So releasing your old energy. On the high side, if you can, again, for me, the old energy would be the old, of what the old story. It's not even a story. It's a real thing that happened. I did write a book about it, so it is a story of great loss. But then I have to remember I had great resilience. So if something were to happen again, I would have resilience. So I have to remember that. But it's releasing the old energy and also beginning our new energy. So this week, what might shake you guys up, and with all that Aries energy, and Aries energy is one of your instinct. It's your instinct. And so this new moon on the high side can make recovery from illnesses fast. This new moon brings speed. It brings rescue. It brings medicines. So maybe you've never been on medicines. Guess what? Maybe you will be now. Maybe they'll be Western, maybe they'll be Eastern. It brings a fresh start, and it brings the power to restart your life, maybe where your life has been blocked. Okay. And maybe that's some of this anxiety energy that people have been feeling, because it does bring a fresh start, especially when something has been blocked for you. So also the nakshatra Ashwini, it's the symbol is a horse head. And it's funny because it's the year of the fire horse. So horse head represents quick healing and a new beginning. Now, the shadow side, because, Shirley and I always talk about a shadow side. There's the light side, and then there's the shadow side. The shadow side of this new moon is haste. So being impulsive, say moving before you're grounded, or confusing that you're ready to begin something with not being aligned with rightful action. So this new moon, you want to look at, your intention, and you want to look at, are you aligned with rightful action? It's very, very important. And this is a very powerful new moon for so many reasons that I've just said. But one of the things that you might want to do for this new moon is set your crystals out. I think that would be a really good thing to do. You can set your crystals out, and I'm going to talk about certain crystals actually to use. Stones for this new moon may be carnelian. Carnelian is really good because it ignites your courage. And this does take courage to move forward. But again, you want to align it. You don't want to be hasty. Oh, I'm going to start something when you're not ready yet. So you just start putting the intention, okay? And carnelian also helps with physical vitality. So also garnet or a red jasper, because that's Aries fire, and that's grounding and endurance. And by the way, I have to laugh because Michelle Kavanaugh she does snowy white owl. It's intuitive on Facebook, and she did a card reading on Sunday. And this Sunday she shall be doing, I believe, meditations, but she did a card reading for me, and she chose endurance. And I had to laugh, Michelle, because it was on Sunday that you gave me that. And now I understand why. But I had to laugh too, because my mother's famous words were, life is about endurance. Like, endure. You'll have weddings are to be endured, she would say. So I had to laugh about that one, because right again, Michelle, you were right again. Anyway, another great clear quartz would be great for amplifying your intentions for this new moon and clarifying your purpose. Okay, so these are some of the smoky quartz would be really good too for keeping you grounded. So anyway, those are some of the things to do. And then set your intentions for this new moon. Make one clear, centered, short, intention. I will begin a weekly practice to restore my energy, or something, whatever it happens to be. Okay, so think like that. And the second thing I do want to say about astrology for this week is, again, I've been talking about this from April 19th or April 18th. It starts probably on Saturday till the 20th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. We have an exact conjunction with Mars and Saturn and Mercury. In Vedic astrology, it's in Pisces, and it's in the nakshatra called Uttara Bhadrapada. This exact conjunction is with Mars, is in full gear, with Mars foot on the pedal of gas, and at the same time, Saturn with slamming the brakes on. So this energy is so confusing and misdirected, and it can be very intense. And so what I'm going to suggest, and I've been saying this to anybody that will listen, be calm the next few days. Maybe don't take something on that you don't need to. Really think through before you want to get into a fight with somebody, or think through first, because this is very powerful, impulsive energy. And we could go into some, world situation during these next few days. So that's this energy that I'm talking about. And that you could feel the energy of it anyway, as we're kind of headed into that period right now. So the next few days, I'm going to predict, are going to be very intense. So again, take very good care of yourself. You can do this. We get through all of this. But if you get triggered by something, just take care of yourself. If you get triggered, ask yourself what the trigger is about, what happened to you. I think it's important. I do. And I think this on the earth right now, in Earth School, it's set for triggers. So we can work through what we need to work through. So we can heal. So we don't come from a place of fear. Instead, we go, oh, yeah, I've dealt with that. Yes, I can do this. And then it gets us stronger and stronger. Every time we go through something, we get stronger and stronger. Always remind yourself that. So, okay, let's talk about this. So tonight we're going to talk about signs that you are outgrowing your current life. Raise your hand. Are you outgrowing your current life? I bet you are. I bet you are. I think it's interesting because outgrowing your life, it is not a failure, okay? It's like you've outgrown, what is it? The bud, it just keeps growing, right? It's not something that's breaking. It's your soul is expanding. And always remember that. We come to earth, particularly at this time, to expand. And when you expand, it feels uncomfortable. And we're often taught to think if something doesn't feel right, something must be wrong. But spiritually, it's the opposite. It's when you're growing and evolving and you're becoming more aware, things that once fit don't fit anymore. So that's not loss. Okay, that's not a loss. That is what we call alignment. And so some of the signs that you are evolving beyond your current environment would be spiritually, if I talk about it from a spiritual standpoint, it would be an inner restlessness. Are you feeling this inner kind of persistent, pull towards something more meaningful or something more authentic? Is there a reduced attachment? Like there's less need for approval. There's less need for possessions. I have a lot of people that are saying, I don't really need that anymore. I don't need to buy this or that. And I used to buy this because it made me feel better. And now I'm looking at my carbon footprint. Like things like that could be big switches here. That reduced, your roles have changed. Your roles that once defined you will have changed, or the beginning of change at least. And there's often comes a heightened intuition. And that's really important because that stronger inner guidance, that is so important because it's that and the synchronicities that nudge you forward. Okay. There's also a deepened compassion. Maybe when you were younger some of you were just born wildly compassionate. But maybe when you were younger, you were busy with this, and you really didn't pay attention to something of compassion. And then all of a sudden, you start paying attention to this. This is a sign your soul has expanded here. Okay. And also, is there a desire for solitude? When I had my head injury, I just needed to be alone. Period. And I was just alone. And it did something. It actually helped me recalibrate my soul. I didn't even know really what the soul was or where I was going with any of this, but it was really important that I was in a solitude place. And what happens psychologically, and Shirley and I probably talked about this, but your values shift. I mean, again, I've had some people that I know very well that will say to me, I don't care to buy the Gucci loafers anymore. I don't care. And when you get to that place, it's an extraordinary place. And you kind of will look at yourself and go, what happened? I don't know. I grew, which is important. So also, you want to set really good boundaries that we talk a lot about. You find yourself setting firmer limits. And then you feel less guilt for protecting your time and space. You're really growing. Then there's this emotional regulation. You respond more calmly to triggers. And you recover faster from setbacks. And I will tell you that I did recover quicker yesterday. And for me to get dysregulated like that, I knew I needed to cry and go to sleep. And that's what I did. And I woke up and I was fine. And then I found out we have got 2 more coming tomorrow. Great. I'm really tested. Um, Also, it's funny. There's a new narrative that you start telling yourself too. You like imagine and accept a different version of yourself in the future. Like a lot of times, you maybe never let yourself feel that or see what it could be like for you in the future. So I think that's really important. And on a practical note, what does it look like? It looks like your current job may be lost, relationships change, everything feels out of sync, habits change. You might, stay up late at night where you used to go to bed really early. I mean, things start to change. Opportunities show up. Doors open that require that you have to, either learn something or you step into new capacities. So I think it's just a really interesting time. So what you can do if you think this is happening with you, really maybe journal on this. Make a pause and reflect. Sit with any of this to see if any of this is true for you. Because when you start making notes of it, you might say, "Oh my gosh, I really am in a period of change right now." And so, why do things no longer feel like they fit? It's because something inside of you or around you has changed. So again, spiritually, your soul is calling for an inner purpose. A lot of people will say to me, Kelly, what's my purpose? Or your sense of meaning has shifted. All of a sudden, things that were important to you might feel hollow, and there's an energetic mismatch. Like your vibration and your priorities have changed. So familiar people may no longer resonate. And that happens when in growth. Not everybody grows at the same time. It's just not possible. Everybody awakes when their soul awakes. It's different for everybody. And, there could be this thing, it's called cognitive dissonance that happens. And cognitive dissonance is that it's like mental discomfort experience when you're holding 2 or more contradictory beliefs or values or behaviors. So your actions conflict with your new beliefs, and that creates discomfort. So maybe, keep a list of current values and compare it how you spend your time. That could help. But these things happen. It's the real things. These are real things that happen. There's a growth gap. Like your skills or your needs or your ambitions outgrew the systems and the relationships around you. That's a big thing. Now, often when we have this experience of this growth that I'm talking about, this signs that you're outgrowing your current life, what happens is there can be burnout, there can be depletion, there can be exhaustion, and it can make you feel like, you don't know what's going on. It's often this change. Now, again, if it's really medically, if you're not feeling well, please go have a physical. Often it has psychologically, you're making a big change, and spiritually, you're making a big change. And also another dynamic that comes with this is fear of change. So discomfort can feel like, it's like I don't know, there's a resistance to moving forward. And so the other thing that people don't talk about enough is that there could be external pressure from family and friends that they want to keep you in that same ill-fitting role that you were in. And you have to buck up against, the risk of losing them and finding yourself. And that's a huge one right there. It's really the authentic self is bursting through. So the risk of loss, and I remember when I went through this, I lost everything around me, every person around me. It was a rough time. It was a rough time. I had a couple of people that stood by me, but it was rough. And it's not for everybody, but it's important that you become your authentic self, especially on Earth right now. What opportunities we have. I don't know when we would ever have this type of opportunity to grow the way and expand the way we are now. So also, what experience in life speed this up, like our spiritual growth or our psychological growth? And I'll tell you, number one is loss and grief. So let's say you've just lost somebody that you deeply cared about, mother, father, spouse, child. Loss and grief forces us to prioritize or reevaluate our lives because nothing else is the same again. So that's one way. And so what you would do is you would lean in with that and just be with honest reflection of your life. So a crisis, and again, a loss, a death, a crisis, let's say you all of a sudden have an illness. I've always called cancer the great awakener because it puts us in a crisis. A job loss puts us in a crisis. A divorce puts us in a crisis. Any sort of major setback. And why does this happen? It helps us break those old assumptions, or it prompts new meaning making and resilience. And those are some of the things that trigger this. And I think it's important to pay attention. Now, we don't have to have any of that to start, for our soul to start questioning and what's going on and nudging us and moving us forward. We don't need any of that. Often that can happen as well. So I think that's important to know. I think a lot of people now are just having awakenings now, just starting to have awakenings. And to navigate uncertainty with these emotional shifts is really important. So some of the things that you can do if you find yourself in a great change is ground yourself, walk barefoot outside, slow breathing, sleep if you can sleep. That's really important. Then name your emotions. What are you feeling? Like when I got triggered yesterday, I really had to sit in it. I was in a tornado. So what was I going to do? I had no choice. I sat there with Otis barking and what was coming up for me. And I really needed to think, what is coming up for me? It was great loss. But what it did is it showed me dysregulation for myself. And I will tell you, everybody that I've been working with for the past month, especially in the past week, most of them have been really dysregulated. So it was good for me to actually have that space of, oh God, now I know exactly what it feels like yet again, here we go. But then I could pull myself back together again and regulate all of that. That was a really good thing for me to see also. It was really important for me. And then letting go of fear and guilt and anything which would hold you back. Sit with that. Where is it coming from? Is that something that, your mother, father put on you? It's time to move through that. It just is. It's time to be really, really authentic with everything that you can possibly do. And so, I want to give you something simple to sit with. Ask yourself, what is trying to expand in me right now? Not what's wrong with me, not what do I need to fix, just what is expanding. And allow that answer to come without any pressure, because clarity doesn't come from forcing, it comes from allowing movement. That's really important there. Okay. Very important stuff here, because I think a lot of change is happening. So before I as I wind up with that, I just want to remind everybody, Dr. Shirley and I, we do our show on Tuesdays, Psychology and the Soul, which I just love. I love working with Shirley. It's so fun. But Shirley and I are also offering a couple of things. We have the Mind and Soul session between Dr. Shirley and me. And you can have a session with us, and you can find that on Psychology and the Soul. It's working with the two of us for 90 minutes. And we work with families, or we work with individuals or couples or whatever it happens to be. And I'm also offering spiritual coaching now, which is really great for me. I love to do it. And it's helping people who feel stuck or, spiritually or psychologically, and moving them forward. So I love to do that. I have a Starseed class with Janelle Campbell that I'm really excited about. So please sign up for that. And that is on May 22nd in the United States and May 23rd in Australia. And that's going to be a 2-hour experience. We're going to be talking about starseeds, and Janelle is going to be channeling for everybody. And she channels the star seeds, and she also is going to be doing a meditation for us. I think you guys would absolutely love that. But I'm also excited to tell you guys that on June 27, Dr. Shirley and I are going to be teaching a live Zoom class, and it's why they act that way and what you can do about it. And it's going to be about understanding personality patterns, the triggers and the boundaries. So it's going to be a very powerful psychology in the soul class, if you will, to help you understand personality patterns. So emotional triggers, and then how to create healthy boundaries without any guilt or confusion or burned out. And so the class is for you if you've ever experienced repeated relationship struggles, emotional reactions that feel out of control, feeling drained or confused or overwhelmed by others, or walking on eggshells. We've talked about that often, but in relationships, and a burnout from helping or trying to fix others, and a desire to understand yourself on a deeper level. So join Dr. Shirley and me on June 27th. It's about a 2.5 hour live Zoom class. And you can go on right now. I think we're offering a discount if you purchase it sooner than later. I think you guys will really love it. A lot of people have asked us to teach this. And so ultimately, Shirley and I are coming out with a book about this. So join us now, because I think you would love this. Okay, so Laura Crum, Laura says, with intolerance of uncertainty, does giving up control to many things that are deemed out of one's control help? Yes. To live in one's natural flow? Yes, Laura. And being mindful of that, because you can't control so much. We can't control. I mean, really, very, very little. So it does help to just give that up. Just give up control. You know, I guess that's why rosary beads were invented, probably. I mean, just good for anxiety. You know, again, Earth is a tough school, and just going with the flow and being mindful is much, much better. If you can, Laura. Great statement, though. Heather Whelan, she says, Kelly, I would love to know why I've been feeling panicked lately. And a good description would be a feeling of fight or flight a lot of the time. So let me tell you about that. Heather, it's what I'm talking about right now. This energy is fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn. Often I find it's one of the four. Freeze is a big one too, because this energy is so intense. It's hitting us on all levels, you know, on belief systems, on, you know, how people could be the way they are out in the world, politically, globally, all of that. It is shocking, it's horrific, and it is pushing all of our buttons. So if you feel panicked, that makes sense. Okay, I'm sure it's not coming from nowhere. Okay, so be good to yourself and be kind to yourself and have compassion for yourself. All right. Hi, Carlene Reese. Carlene says, I'm really looking forward to this show. Thanks, honey. I've been feeling very off. Again, I am telling you, people are off right now. They're just off. I've tried painting and working out in the yard to get grounded, and nothing seems to be helping. I've heard that from so many people. Carlene, it's okay, honey. It's okay. She said, I'm feeling so anxious and straight up gloomy. Well, there's a club for that. We're in this club. I understand that. And again, these are some really heavy duty energies. Now, the energies pass. They're building right now. I don't think they pass for a few days. So again, try going out in the garden again, or listening to some good music or something. Just know this will go, this will pass. And you said you just were there, you looked up at the sky and thought, I'm just ready to go home. Oh, I've heard that from so many people. But you'll miss all the good stuff that is going to happen. So not in a suicidal way. I'm just so tired. Oh, honey, I hear this all the time. I hear this from professionals all the time. I don't want to go anywhere or talk to anyone. The energy just feels heavy. So then stay in. Now, if you're seeing frogs, that's a great sign, because the frogs that's a healthy sign to see the frogs, as my niece Peggy always tells me, because frogs are so good in nature. They're so good for nature. So we want to see them, and they bring transformation. Okay, so I think that's it. And I know, Melissa, you've had an emotional week too. And I'm sorry that you are feeling this way. It has been an emotional time for everybody. It just is. So let me get some cards here. Mrs. Shai Pono, I'm going to get you a card because you were so patient. Let me shuffle these. I'm using the angel number oracles. I'm using those. So let's go here. Here we go, Mrs. Shai Pono. Ooh, compassion. 369, compassion. And that's really what the world needs right now and for yourself. So have compassion for you. That's from the angels. I think that's everything. Everybody should have that. Okay, Glow says, can she have one? Yes. Here we go. A card for you. 427, authenticity. Again, what I'm talking about, be your authentic self. Authentically be yourself. It's now or never. Just start doing it. Just start being yourself. It is just time. Okay, let's see here. What else here? Oh, and Toby says, and your birthday is today. Let's get you a card, honey. 69, accountability. So for your birthday, which is right at that new moon, take accountability. What is it, the action you want to see in your life? And really, really set your intention, okay? Because you can do it. You can do it. If you were born today or tomorrow, these are powerful times. Oh my gosh, really, really powerful time. Yes, and Dee, let me get you a card, honey, too. Here we go. Ooh, 525. Interesting, reshape. So the boys will be reshaped. They're going to be 8. I think you said. That's amazing. Well, twin boys, God bless you. That's a big deal. That is a big, big deal. Oh, Cindy, let me get you a card too regarding his current job in a very toxic and unstable work environment. Sure, Cindy, here we go. Interesting. 1144, leveling up. So his next position will be leveled up. He will do something better than what he was doing before. That's a good sign here. Okay, a very good sign here. Okay. Whoops. Sorry about that. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Lori Sherberg says, Kelly, I've been feeling a little bit on the woozy dizziness side sometimes and feel faint. Is this a shift happening to me? And I also noticed that you're only able to eat lighter foods. Yes, I would say that. Now, first, obviously, definitely get everything checked out by a medical professional. I always say that. It is also a sign of a spiritual awakening. It's a sign of a shift in consciousness. The body shifts, everything shifts. So let me get you a card, Lori. Ooh, 616, sanctuary. So I would, create your sanctuary for yourself, Lori. Create that to help you with this. Often when we make shifts like this, we do need to be in a quiet place, okay? JO95, yes, you're here on time. Let me get a card. 4141, look at your habits. Look at your habits, okay? Joe 95, look at your habits. Okay, and see if there's something, again, with this new moon. It's not just any new moon. It's the first, Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, and Ashwini Nakshatra is the first nakshatra. That makes it a karmic, destiny point. It's huge. So tomorrow, really set that intention. Crystal Cook, oh my gosh. Hi there, honey. Yes, very intense time. 77. Crystal, align yourself tomorrow with purpose. Okay? Aligning yourself with purpose, I think, is everything here. Thank you, Bailey. I love your shows, and thank you for having them. You're so sweet. Bailey, I'm going to get you a card, honey. Here we go. 808. Security. Security is for you, Bailey. There you go. Very good. Okay. Yeah, ascensionally. It is definitely ascension. Julie says, Kelly, I can't believe I'm wearing the same color as you again today. I'm wearing a coral orange. How cool is that? How cool is that? I love that. I was just in these colors. I don't know what it is about these colors this week. Okay, Rachel says, Kelly, I feel like spirit lit a fire under my ass this week. I've been very inspired to get my birth doula business off the ground. Okay, Rachel, let's talk for a second. If you are aligned this way, set that intention and go for it. If you are aligned, make sure, as I said, because the negative side of that is not being prepared and taking off. If you are ready to do that, this would be the most incredible time to set that to go, because It's interesting. I really feel a lot of these special babies are coming on the planet now. They want to, you think, why would they want to be here? Oh, they do. They line up. They want to be here. They've already chosen their parents. They want to be here. And so I think it's a grand idea, Rachel. If you are, all lined up, make that alignment, that you are ready to do it, you want to do it, the reasons you're doing it, the schooling and anything else you need, set it and go. Okay. Okay. Shar says, Kelly, I was passed up for a promotion. I thought I had it. I'm very confused now. So Shar, if that didn't happen, always know, I understand the confusion. We've all been in situations like that. Then it wasn't supposed to be for you. That door wasn't supposed to be the right door. And I don't know why that is, Shar, but that happens on occasion. That happens. Not on occasion. It's life. My dad used to go life in the big city. And that is how that works. So if it was supposed to be the right door, it would open. But Shar, my thought is something better is going to happen here. Okay. So, 999. Okay. Release. 999 is like the end of something. And release, whatever that is. Okay. Just release. It will get better from there. It will get better. Hi, everybody. Oh, Barbara Miller, you're not well? I'm sorry, Barbara. I hope you feel better. Hi, Vivian. Oh, Sasha, you're so sweet. Kelly, thanks for being awesome. Thank you. Since moving to America 2 years ago, Renee has been helping me grow and learn every day with the heart space. How great is that? Let's get you a card, Sasha. 413, synergy. So there's synergy between the two of you for sure. For sure. We're both on a path. Bailey says it's thundering and lightning in East Tennessee. Oh, I believe it. Cassandra Carlson, we'd love a card. Let's get you a card. Thank you. 2713. Mindfulness. Always good to know, to be very mindful, particularly when we're going through this energy right now. Be as mindful as possible. Melissa, yes, you can have a card for you. Ooh, Melissa, this is your card. You were waiting for this one. 777. Luck. That is a great thing for you, Melissa, on your birthday. How great is that? Okay? That's a super one. You can't get better than that. Hi, Jennifer. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Melanie. Oh yeah, right? Shingles sucks. I agree. Oh my gosh. I had that round of shingles and the second one kicked my butt. Gail, yep, right? Hi, Slobodanka from Melbourne. Let's get you a card from Melbourne. Here we go. 303. Forgive. Whatever it is that you're holding on to. Tomorrow would be a great day for forgiveness, actually. My dog, thanks for asking, she's Charlotte. God bless her. She's hanging in there. She is hanging in there. Thanks for asking. Jen Gurn says, Kelly, for those of us who hate change, and God knows you've had a lot, outgrowing my life with recent change has been a struggle. The last week I've been meditating, surrendering, and letting go, and I'm starting to feel better. Jen, you went through a lot, so, just go slowly with everything. I know you kind of probably would like to run through this piece of it, but life has a way of not really allowing that. We have to kind of feel it and experience it and move forward, But God bless you. You did go through tremendous loss. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get a card from your spouse. I have to get a card. I just was told that. So I'm going to do what I was told here. Let's get Jen. This is for you, honey. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I send you loving signs through nature. That's from your husband. Oh, I got chills. That's from Scott. He just said. It's very specific. Okay. Mars, you understand what I was talking about with that storm? Oh my God. Yeah, we were all okay, but boy, it was something else. Aloha, Brandy. I am doing much better. Thank you. Great news on healing. Oh, Laura, that hit you. Yeah, it was a hard week, you guys. Yeah. Put your crystals out. Excuse me. Okay. Lisa says my brother passed 10 years ago today. May I have a card? Yes, you can. Okay. Ooh, you're going to love this. Oh, I got chills. Okay. You will be together again. And look at that picture. Did you guys ever do water sports together? Look at that. You will be together again. Okay. Ooh, I got chills. Oh, Boy, they're active today. Everybody's active today. Hey, Julianne Siegel, how are you? Julianne, I'm going to get you a card. Here you go. 5151, optimism. Okay, that is so you, Julianne. You are so optimistic. You are always optimistic. You always are. And everybody, if you're on TikTok, look Julianne's TikTok up. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my gosh. It is really good. Okay, let's see. Melanie says, I found out a friend I once dated 10 years ago, but remained close to, died a year ago. I hadn't heard from him in a few years, and this was so strange. So I looked up obituaries online, and he hadn't been on his socials. And I found out that he died at 58 of heart failure. Another love interest. I've not met anybody since or remotely interested in. I regret not reaching out to him sooner. However, I was consumed with my father's death, that both your senior fur babies. So don't feel guilty, honey, at all. I think that we all have experienced this before, when all of a sudden you find out a good friend that you hadn't talked to in a year passed away. I think it's happened to everybody. And that happens. That happens. You know, I'm sure he has been around you and pay attention. I'm sure he's put that energy on you, or that came close to you enough that said, well, wait a minute, look me up. I'm sure that's what happened with that, which is interesting. Rich says, Earth School, life's lessons learned. There you go. Yep. I mean, there's a lot of things about that. Stay away from some bad people. So Wanda says, stronger. How strong does the universe want us to be? Well, I don't know. It's a good question. You know, strong enough to go through some of these storms, I think. How's that? Okay. Wendy said, my visit today with my neurologist, the first thing she said is, we are all going to die. This is a crazy world. As long as I'm with my dog Bingo, then all will be okay. Yes, my relentlessness is pushing me. Good. Well, that's a thing for a neurologist to say. Well, I guess it's not wrong. It's not incorrect. A pull towards all things peaceful, Joanne. I love that. Okay. I love that. And I love Wendy for improv class for you. That's wonderful. Okay. That is great. Snowy Owl Intuitive Services. Kelly, my soul is changing, as we talked about in my session. I am feeling self-care, and solitude has been helping me through. Also being drawn to go to the shore for water energy. What a great, Michelle, that's a great thing. And by the way, Michelle does incredible. If you go to Snowy Owl Intuitive Services on Facebook and join her Facebook, she does these great card pullings, and she works with the angels and crystals, like amazing. And then she does a great meditation every other week. It's Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And for people that are in my app, Whispers of the Soul, if you've joined that, on tomorrow, Friday, we're going to have our 5 o'clock somewhere. And Michelle, I believe that you're going to be doing a meditation for our group, which is very exciting. And on Sunday, part of our group, Maggie is going to be offering for our group again a Qigong class. So I love working with Maggie. She's a great Qigong teacher. So I'm really excited about that. Hey, Ann Margaret. How you doing, honey? Cheryl Anderson. Kelly, my mom recently passed, and since then it's been a bit difficult to heal with my brother. Kind of had a feeling this might happen. Do I see you being okay? I feel like I need to change my boundaries a bit, but I'm horrible at setting boundaries. I feel like I'm in a huge period of change right now. So Cheryl, when a parent passes, and then it's the siblings, there's usually some major something that occurs. Anger comes out, betrayals come out. You have to set boundaries. I'm sorry that you currently believe that you're horrible at setting them. Learn to set them. Learn to set. If I can learn to set boundaries, you can learn to set boundaries. I'm the queen of boundaries now. Every once in a while I get bamboozled, but I try to stay on top of it. You know, Cheryl, start doing that, because you are in a huge change of growth right now. Okay. Julie says massive realignments all around now. Yes. At the same time, the veil's being lifted from our eyes too. Totally. So we can see others differently. It's a lot of change. Yes. And it can be dysregulating. but it's necessary, Hey, Dwayne Kelly, he says, welcome to my world. You're right, totally exhausted a lot of times because our vibrations have changed so much that a lot of our friends no longer connect, that they're on a different vibrational path. But I know I'm on the right path. So Dwayne, who's an incredible healer, you guys, Dwayne, put your website out here because he is an incredible healer. Dwayne Morgan, he's incredible. And hi, Lane, love you, honey. And so when we go towards our calling, when our vibration starts to rise and we're going towards our calling, a lot of people, number one, you get exhausted. And the other thing is you see so clearly the other person. And through love and compassion and kindness, it's not going to work anymore. And so you keep moving on. Your job is to keep moving forward. That's your job. That's why we come to Earth, to keep moving forward. If I had settled in with whatever early on, I wouldn't be here doing this. And I wouldn't have been able to do it because my soul is just like always searching, always going, always knowing something. Okay. Renee says the other side of outgrowing our current life is resilience. And it is glorious. I have to tell you, Renee, yes, resilience is everything. And yesterday, and remind yourself of this when you go through certain things. Like I literally got triggered. And as I got triggered, I was dysregulated. It didn't take me but a few hours to regulate. And it could have taken me a long time back in the day, right? So I've come a long way. And I remembered, like, before I went to bed, I remembered that I had resilience. But it took me a few hours to get there because it was pretty, there was a lot going on. I was really happy that I got there. And when I got there, I remembered, wait a minute, even if I did lose this and this and this, okay, Kelly, you're going to be fine. You do this here, you'll do that there. I mean, I literally had put my brain had kicked in and I was okay. So anyway, just always remember resilience. It just is. It is hard to stay here, Corina. It is. I know. Let's see. Joanne Steiger. Hi, Joanne. She says, I always ask that moving forward not come from a disaster, right? Or illness or loss. I will gladly go forward without the above. These last several years, it has mostly worked. Yay. Bravo. Joanne, you deserve a card. Okay. This is perfect, Joanne. Relax. 420. Relax. That is so perfect. I love that. I think that's perfect. Rich says, Kelly, in my mind's eye, I say a dozen men on a bus getting ready to do something really not good, holding in the light. People wouldn't be that stupid. Yeah. Angela Light, let's get you one. 9/11, inevitability. So I would say this means, Angel Light, that you are changing. Inevitable, because it's the butterfly, that you are changing here. I think there's going to be a lot of change. Okay, I think that's, hey, Tim and Diane, how are you guys? Yeah, Laura, I know. This has been an extremely exhausted time. Okay. Angela says, how can I know if I'm going to meet my soulmate soon? What are the signs? Well, are you trying to bring love in? As Julianne will say, are you prepared for this? Are you aligned with that? Have you made room in your closet? Have you, done certain things to bring that in? So think like that. Okay. Julianne has some great tips. Julianne Siegel has great tips for bringing that love in. If you look her up at juliannesiegel.com, you'll see what I mean. She's got great ones. Great ones for that. Anyway, well, listen, everybody. Join Shirley and me on Tuesday, Psychology in the Soul. And I'm excited because we're going to be talking about, I think, personality disorders. Narcissism is what we're going to talk about. How great is that? So please take very good care of yourself. Okay. You must for the next few days. Always, but the next few days. All right. And I look forward to seeing everybody. And I think I might have a little room in my schedule for April. I'm not sure. You might want to check. I think I do, but I'm not sure. But in May, my May calendar will be out in the next few days. All right. So take care, my friends.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kelly White.